Vulnerabilities in the Azure App Service could have allowed attackers to take over administrative servers.
So, hey, Mike, looks like you've got a story for us this week about a chained pair of vulnerabilities against the Azure App Services.
Yeah. So, we're seeing more and more of these sort of cloud native vulnerabilities that are, being exposed. So researchers, like you mentioned, discovered, in this case, two flaws in the Azure App Services, which is another one of these platform as a service, or these PaaS services that you can utilize in Azure. And they found vulnerabilities that let you access basically this administration service. So this was a little different in that app services you have obviously wherever you're running your actual application you're deploying, and then it sort of has this management server that gets spun up beside it. And this is where you can actually host your code. You can host a Git server. It can pull from a Git server. So they discovered these two vulnerabilities in it, specifically in this open source tool called Kudu Lite that's used specifically for Linux. So what they're talking through specifically targets if you have a Linux-based application that you're deploying into app service. So the first one they discovered was that there's in the administration server, which is running as a container, they actually had hard-coded credentials, which I think they must have found in the GitHub. So it was able to log into that application server. And what they're able to do there and access is basically the management plane. So they could snoop on any of the requests coming in. They could inject malicious code or JavaScript into the management web page. So that was kind of one vulnerability they found. The other one was against the Kudu Lite API. So they found that it was missing access validation. So they're able to do if you were able to do a server-side request forgery, you could actually do a get some information again from that administrative service. You could even do a remote code execution through SSRF. So if you kind of use both these vulnerabilities together, they showed a proof of concept. They were able actually to put a phishing page kind of embedded in that administrative service. Again, that kind of not really exposed, right? Part of the application. So they go through and talk about kind of how they were able, again, to take advantage of that. They have a demo of it. And I think they have a really interesting point kind of in the summary here, which is just how new cloud security is, right? And how we're constantly seeing, these new vulnerabilities that are getting exposed, which maybe when you this is a hard-coded credential, which, we see a lot of times with IoT, and, seems pretty obvious that may be something that's, potentially out there in some of these cloud services that get exposed. So, similarly, I think we're going to start seeing more and more of these stories as researchers start to focus more on these different cloud services.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I mean, that is 100% the direction that we're moving towards. We're seeing much more. I mean, we're well into it. I mean, this is no surprise here, right? It just, I think more and more of it is being shifted into it. So, we've got quite a bit that's already sitting up in the cloud, and I think we're starting to see even some of the stragglers who haven't moved to the cloud yet already starting to consider moving that. So we're moving into an age where, a damn bit of what's going on out there on the internet is going to be done in cloud services like this. So it is not surprising that that we're seeing this type of vulnerabilities, and we're going to find a lot of more researchers out there that are going to be spending more and more time going after these types of bugs. It's interesting here, I was reading through a little bit of the story, and just to see, like you said, the vulnerability sort of being due to this SSH, password that was hard-coded. And when you look at the password itself, I'm not sure if that passes mustard in terms of password complexity there. So it's interesting to see that, even these folks can make mistakes like this. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you mentioned, you have, developers now with easy access to deploy applications quickly without really understanding maybe the services they're leveraging. You think this one's a little unique in that you typically think of when you're using a kind of PaaS service, there's no the server doesn't get exposed to you, right? You don't have to patch it, right? You don't access it. This one, is a little unique in that there is sort of this middleware server that you can actually directly log into. But I think it goes back to, when you're using these each of these cloud providers, they have hundreds of services, right? So unless you're, really understanding what you're using, there may be things like this, right, that get exposed through any of them. So I think it's, certainly, understand as best you can the services you're leveraging in cloud, and expect things like this to come up. And you're going to need to, this one, by the way, they get patched. It was reported to Microsoft. There's no open CVEs, so it is patched. But yeah, we'll see more of this.
Yeah. Very, very interesting story, and also, as you said, very good to see that they actually patched this. And it was also interesting to see that there was no CVEs associated to it. But yeah, good to know that it's patched today.